That is a nice necklace. That is a very nice. How much you pay for that?
125 racks.
Damn.
Welcome to the Elle Duncan Show.
She pulled out the Benny Frank. That's Benjamin Franklin.
With Gary Strysky and Elle Duncan. I hope that shows you how relatable we are. That we're talking rubber band banks about $125 necklace.
But it should not have been $125 based off of where you got it from and the preconceived notion about this particular store. No free ads, but no disrespect to the necklace, of course. I mean, I'm wearing a free shirt, free $99. But you were anticipating maybe paying a quarter of that price.
I went into this store with an idea of what the price point of the store is, which is not.
It's a nice store.
It's a nice store.
Hell yeah.
I would say the price point is like, on average, $65-$70 for a shirt, $100 for a pair of pants. And so I saw this necklace in the case. Mm-hmm. They have a glass case.
Ooh, that was probably your first sign.
Well, but they don't have like racks at this store where you just it's just like a little glass case. They have a few hand-selected, hand-curated jewelry items. I saw this necklace. I was like, oh, I need this actually for an outfit. This is perfect. And I grabbed it just thinking, it's not real gold. It's just like costume jewelry. And this place, gold-plated.
Yeah.
If I wore it in the shower, though, I'm going to have a green neck. And I'm like, that's cool. So it can't be more than like the shirt that I'm getting or whatever.
Straight up.
So I go and, we ring it up. And I was like, that is expensive for a necklace and a shirt. But, by that point, I'm just like,
no.
The panic is set in and I'm like, whatever, I'm just going to pay for it.
Wow.
Yeah, because I'm just too embarrassed at that point.
You got bread like that.
No.
Clearly.
Just a lot of embarrassment. I did this when I was broke. And I would just like return it like a couple of days later when that person wasn't there.
I did notice you got the tag on the back. I'm just playing. The tag's not on the back.
No,
the tag's not on the back.
Yeah, man. And I realized this thing was $125. I was like, come on, man. Why? It's you. But this is why I'm forcing the issue. I'm like, I'm going to wear this with a tank top and some sweatpants.
That's funny because you were talking about, I need this necklace for this particular outfit, but this is not the particular outfit. It's a cool athleisure outfit. But because you paid what you paid for it, you're going to get multiple wears out of that thing.
I'm going to wear this. I'm going to wear it in the swimming pool until it turns green. I'm going to wear this necklace until the Mavericks win a game.
Oh, damn. You're going to wear that thing until next October? That's crazy, Elle, because that's the start of next season because we got about a game left in this NBA Finals. I'm hoping that they stretch it out for many reasons to Game 5. 1, so I can get there to Boston, see it in person. 2, for the company. We need that programming. We need the highlights. We need the content. And 3, I like seeing home teams win on home court. But the way the Celtics were playing last night, every court they're on is their home court.
Yeah, I knew that the Celtics were going to win this series. They're the most stacked team. They are just really good. It's been trending this way all year long, that they've been the best team. And even when we were sort of parsing some of their weaknesses or whatever, in February or March, the doldrums of the season, it was still like, all right, well, we're pretty much splitting hairs, though. This team's pretty good. All they've got to do is just like exercise those demons of the past, and they're going to be fine. But golly, I thought the Mavs would win a game.
They came out of the gates hot, as we anticipated.
In the first 2 games, they did the same thing too, though.
That's correct, but they were at home. They were up 11-2. Had call a couple timeouts right off the top. Obviously, in the opening minutes of a Game 3, we anticipated all of the energy, all of the good zhuzh to be on their side. But as the Celtics have done, a new hero steps up, a familiar hero in Jaylen Brown down the stretch. But doing this without Kristaps Porzingis, who could be lost for the rest of the series now with that injury that is too many big words for me to pronounce. It's just something with his knee and his leg that's going to prohibit him from actually moving laterally. He's rare. 7'3" unicorn. The Celtics look too damn good, and they got it exactly how they were supposed to, right? Win 2 games with your non-stars, KP and Drew Holiday, are the focal points of the first 2 games. And then Jaylen Brown took over yesterday, and Jason Tatum, he was a scoring force as well, and Luka did his team no favors. By the way, did you hear Brian Windhorst?
Well, let's get to all that.
Okay,
yeah.
So
I'm
excited.
Shout out to Jason Tatum. I see his beloved Celtics are about to win. Jason Tatum, before Game 3 yesterday, was shooting 35% for his career in the finals. That was 8 games.
Yep.
that's been sort of the one little black mark on Jason Tatum has been like, ooh, he doesn't exactly, he was injured last year and like there's been other things, but still it's just like he just doesn't put the team on his back when it matters the most. And that is, that's an issue. And yesterday, to this point in this series, like you said, still not shooting particularly well, being defended by the Mavericks. They are targeting Jason Tatum. They have decided they want to take him out of the equation. So he stepped up last night, and it was like him and Jaylen Brown sort of asserting themselves. Jaylen Brown's been fantastic. All playoffs, truly. And right now, he's going to be, barring everything falling apart, he's going to be your finals MVP, which I love for Jaylen Brown, because I remember just a couple of seasons ago, I was sort of laughing and remarking that, like, how can you give this guy max money when he can't even, like, dribble to his left?
Correct.
And so he worked on all of those things, and he's playing the best in the world right now, and he's about to lead the Celtics to a world championship. But damn, man, like, at what point in the game yesterday were you like, oh, it's going to be a sweep? I gave credit to the Mavs, maybe too much credit, just thinking that they would find a way to win a singular game. And now, of course, we're doing this whole, let's go down the rabbit hole and play what if. And now the what if question is percolating all over social media. Would it have been a better series if it was the Timberwolves? But we can't do that because the Timberwolves could not beat them.
Correct. You play who you play. And it wouldn't be. And I think that the things that we flagged as the Mavericks' weaknesses in this series, I mean, everybody who's called it has been spot on, right? It's, yes, they have depth, but no, they don't have experience. Like, they have a lot of young players, Derek Lively the second, and the center position really hasn't been a strength or a focal point. And then the glaring omission or the glaring hole that we saw finally rear its head was like Luka's inability to defend yesterday.
Correct.
And
they're just
when
attacking him.
He gets called for fouls, the first thing he does is bark at his bench, bark at his coaches, bark at the refs, review that, not a foul. He's not doing his teams any sort of favors on the defensive end.
Spiraling.
But also, I must say, like, we didn't expect him to anyway. All the way leading up to this series, nobody's been like, man, Luka Doncic, he is a baseline to baseline player. He's your do everything, MVP candidate. No. Luka Doncic was the guy who's going to give you a triple-double. He might score 40 points any given night. Nobody's been like, and the finals is finally when we're going to see Luka Doncic clamp down on defense.
Nobody thought that.
Opposite.
Yeah, and nobody thought that, Gary, but it's because you can live with this stinky defense, and you don't want him to have to do too much on defense and exert too much energy because you need him to be the walking triple-double guy, and that guy hasn't been there. And when he has been there, it's been for a half or a quarter, not enough to dig them out of these holes, and him and Kyrie cannot simultaneously get on the page at the same time. Like, Kyrie had a good game, finally, was able to he was 0 for 8 from long distance in this finals, hadn't made a 3 yet. Like, these things, he had an opportunity to hit that 3 at the end of the game yesterday. But I think, what Brian Windhorst, getting back to your point about Wendy, had to say on SVP yesterday, was really brave in a world where we just like to fawn over our stars and only punctuate and highlight the great things and then sort of talk around their weaknesses. And he really called out Luka's leadership and what he thinks is going to preclude him from being a champion until he gets it together. Here's what Wendy said.
Luka and Kyrie combined for actually more than Tatum and Brown did, but Luka fouls out late. I just wonder your reaction to that whole sequence.
I'm standing here in the Mavericks tunnel. Over there is the Celtics tunnel. That's where the winners are. If Luka's ever going to be a winner coming out of this tunnel here, he is going to have to use what's happened in this finals as a learning experience. His defensive performance is unacceptable. He is a hole on the court. The Celtics are attacking him. They are ahead in this series because they have attacked him defensively. And you've got a situation here where Luka is complaining about the officiating. They have begged him. They have talked with him. They have pleaded with him. He is costing his team because of how he treats the officials. He's a brilliant player. He does so many things well. They are here because of how he did. His performance in this game is unacceptable and the reason why the Mavericks are not going to win. He's got to get over this. And the fact that he came out after the game and blamed the officials showed me he's nowhere close yet.
Like, Wendy's not mad. He's just disappointed. And that's what hurts the most.
The thing that Wendy has perfected is that it's more cutting when you just say it in a Wendy type of voice. You are not being a leader and you're embarrassing yourself.
Straight up.
Right? Like, that is even more cutting than being like, what is wrong with you? And sort of the, inflammatory reactions that people like me who are theatrical like to do. But he's not wrong in this situation. I mean, the whining and the the moaning, and there's multiple times. I love Doris called it out. She's like, you're too busy complaining to the refs, and you didn't get back on defense, and then they come down and hit a 3. And that's a 5-point swing immediately, And you just
That's
can't.
the foul that he was called for as a block, top of the 3, 4 minutes to go. His team not down by what? I think it was a 4-point deficit at this point. I mean, Jaylen Brown had a steam.
Yes.
What are you doing at the top of the 3?
Thank you. You cannot, and then immediately to Wendy's point, what he means by, what he said at the press conference was he right away said, you can't foul me out in the NBA finals. His response was not, you can't be that nilly-willy when you are in foul trouble in the NBA finals. It is on the referees not to foul out the integral part of this team in the NBA finals, which is true on some levels.
I did have that tweet created.
Sure.
And I was about to press send, but I was like, you know what?
Take some accountability.
Let this breathe a second. And I kind of am on both sides of the fences here. Listen, it's a foul. JJ, Doris, Breen were like, yes, this is a foul, especially when you slow it down. But the other half of me was like, this is the best player that's remaining in the series. Obviously, he hasn't shown it, but this is the best player. Their only real shot at making sort of a comeback here. Gosh, do you swallow the whistle there? Do you just let them play?
This is the same argument that we had in the semifinals.
I know.
In the women's the women's championship, when they called that moving screen on Aaliyah Edwards, and instead of getting that final shot, UConn versus Iowa, Paige Becker's trying to send her team, and instead of getting that, we got an offensive foul, and ultimately it all came unraveled after that, and everyone said, technically it was a foul, but don't you swallow your whistle there? And it's a slippery slope that we can't solve in 20 seconds. But the truth of the matter is, what about the other 5? You continued to live dangerously, knowing you don't got the feet or agility, and you put your team in the worst possible position, which is trying to, at best, just avoid a sweep. That's what we're at now, is just trying to avoid a sweep and not trying to win a championship.
Luka with that fool's gold defense, which is unlike that real gold that Elle Duncan got around the net right now, $125.
Gold plated. All right. Speaking of gold, the Olympic team is going for gold on the other side. When we get back from the commercial break, we'll talk about who in the WNBA could be competing against the Olympic team at the All-Star break. Stick around. Hey, the Elle Duncan Show comes out twice a week, Mondays and Thursdays, wherever you get your podcasts. We just talk about whatevs and everything and nothing all at once. It's like the Seinfeld
That was actually a great
of sports podcasts. You like that?
A great description.
Tell somebody about
our Spotify description.
Probably. A whole bunch of nonsense.
You are here domestically, but not for very long.
Yeah.
Because once again, being the face of the franchise, you're jet setting.
Yeah.
Soon.
I am. I will be headed.
Francais.
That's right. And we're going to get to all that because I'm headed to France.
I was excited to talk about
I know. Well, I'm headed to France, and so is the U.S. Olympic team.
Boom.
Anyway, see how when Gary tries to derail the show, I just find a way to reach back across the wheel and steer it back.
I do that all the time because I get excited to sort of live vicariously through the stuff that you get to do. Going to the Cannes Film Festival. Yeah. I con not go. Oh, yeah. Okay, because Elle is on strict Disney duty.
Can you kick it? No, you can't. I can't kick it. So here is the Team USA Olympic roster. Well, there's definitely more than 5 people.
Yeah, we got a couple more.
That's
probably all they need, though, based off of the international play. You know what I'm saying?
The international play's gotten better, so miss me with that. It has. Are we still the best team? Yes. Are we still favored to win? Yes. But we're not winning by 50 points anymore. Here is the bench.
40.
That was the rosters. Here's your bench. I mean, these are just. This is the Avengers of the WNBA. These are your best players. We haven't
talked about it, but
yeah, we have. And so there it is. So now the new thing that everyone wants to know is because, of course, per the WNBA, for the WNBA All-Star Game, instead of just having it like it normally is for the NBA, no one watching a 200-point blowout, the Olympic team faces. The All-Star team, of course, it doesn't include any of the women who are on the Olympic team that would also be All-Stars. And so people are trying to guess, prognosticate who's going to be on this All-Star team. And, of course, the underlying gripping, clinching, is Caitlin Clark going to get snubbed? I will go on record right now as saying
here we go.
That I absolutely 100% understand why she was not on the Olympic roster. And I think it was for very pragmatic and real reasons. But if you leave her off the WNBA All-Star game, you're tripping, bruh. And here's the thing.
You can't beat the allegations if she's left off.
She's got to be. She's got to be a part of that. I don't care what the numbers look like. I don't care about integrity of whatever. It's an exhibition game, and you need to have Caitlin Clark there. So like that's got to happen. But here's the thing, fans who are already ready, who already have their torches ready to light up. 50% of the vote is fan vote. So you can control that. And I think she's going to get a large portion of the fan voting for the All-Star. I think she'll be fine there. I think the media, same, right? Because the media wants to cover something that will be, and what a great storyline, right? Like maybe Caitlin Clark will go off against the Olympic team and like, and whatever. And she's a great storyline in general and she brings ratings. So that could be potentially really, really fun.
I just think it's funny how it breaks down 50% of the fan vote. Cool. 25% of the media vote. Cool.
Yeah. 25%.
But that other 25% is the players.
But 75% is more than 25%.
I know Caitlin Clark going to get 76% of all available votes. She ain't getting 24% of the.
So we'll certainly see. You've got to make that happen. But of course, it could really be a revenge tour for Arike Gumbawale, who was like the actual snub on the Olympic roster.
You got some top 5 scorers who are left off of Team USA who are going to be WNBA All-Stars.
Yeah, one of the greatest
2 30-point scorers right off top.
100%. Again, on the revenge tour, one of the biggest snubs of all time in the Olympics roster was Nneka Ogwumike, who was like captain of the team that won a couple of years earlier internationally and then was left off of that team. I mean, this is a pretty good murderer's row as well. De'Erica Hamby is playing absolutely insane right now. Ryan Howard in Atlanta is going to be playing in the Olympics in the 3-on-3. Jonquil Jones, a former MVP. So this could be a really fun, like if this is an all-star game, I'm like super interested in seeing because there are real storylines here beyond, you know, I'm going to pick your team, we're going to play pick 'em, and then we're just going to like do and one Harlem Globetrotters out here. Like I think this could be competitive and a little chippy, and I'm into it.
I mean, we're going to create some beef here because I'm taking a look at the WNBA projected all-star roster, and you have a couple teammates going opposite one another. I mean, you mentioned Nneka Ogwumike, and then you got Jewel Lloyd, who's Team USA. You got some aces v aces crime. I like it.
Yeah.
Because they obviously play each other in practice, but on a competitive stage, us versus them, Team USA versus WNBA All-Star, I think this game has the ability to get real chippy.
Yeah.
And I'm into it.
Yeah. Well, even, you know, I'm looking at DeWanna Bonner out here who would be facing her fiance.
Oh, yeah, straight up.
Yeah, exactly, because Alyssa Thomas is on the Olympic team, and so you'd get a little wife-on-wife crime, which I'm always into as well. So, no, I definitely think it could be really fun and one that I'm looking forward to. Not looking forward to the inevitable storylines that are going to surround it, but yes, I would go on record right now being so anti everyone's out to get Caitlin. But if they leave her off the All-Star roster,
it's not. That's not going to happen. Is there an update on Chelsea Gray's status as that continues to be? All right, I understand. You know, this is the 12-woman roster right now is presently constructed, and she's supposed to be back in time for August. But I mean, that's an injury that you're coming back from. When you tune up, will you be 100%? Like, is there a forecast on her ability to be 100% when the Olympics comes around?
No, there is no update that I've heard so far on whether she'll be available. But the thing that whenever someone inevitably says, well, why would you put her on that roster? And the thing that I was reminded by my amazing, you know, teammates like Andrea Carter and Chiney Ogwumike are the Olympic team. And Chiney said this because she's, you know, has come up in the Olympics sort of in the international circuit. And she's like, their whole thing is, even if you're on the bench, what do you provide on the bench? Do you provide leadership? Do you provide, the experience? Like, what do you provide? And Chelsea Gray is a 3-time world champion. She is a finals MVP. She is a gold medalist at the Olympics already. So even if she can't play, she is providing the newbies, or she's providing whoever is replacing her, backing her up, Jackie Young, whoever it is, just like she's doing on the Aces right now, an amount of leadership that still makes her a huge part of this team.
So just a real quick point on the U.S. women's team. No player on it is younger than 26, right? Obviously, the Olympics come around every 4 years, Caitlin Clark being 22, and everybody's like, what can Caitlin Clark provide that you don't already have? First of all, they're going to win every game by double digits. Let's just look at the history from 1996. They're going to win, so they don't need her to be like that girl, right? But in 4 years, when the Olympics are back stateside in Los Angeles, you're going to talk about this big void, right, between a ton of veteran players, none of which are under 26, and Caitlin Clark. I mean, there is something to be said about kind of going up with this group so that way when it is your time, you can sort of be the already installed leader or that person with experience, because nobody's arguing that the U.S. women's national team needs more experience or more scoring off the bench. They have a ton of that. But you also have to plan for the future.
Yeah, and there are opportunities to do that aren't the Olympics, right? Like they do the World Cup. There are other international events and tournaments that they use to come together. They do different training camps. And again, Caitlin was unable to attend the training camp she was invited to because she was playing at the national championship. There are more of those events and opportunities. It's not like she's going to have to wait 4 years and have no experience in the Olympic circuit or in the national team circuit, and then they're just going to like throw her in there. She's going to have opportunities just like when she was younger. She played on the under-19 team. So she will have opportunities, as will, this question was raised to me just the other day. Like, man, there's going to be potentially Angel Reese that is going to be trying to get an Olympic spot. Paige Beckers is coming out. In the next 3 years, we'll be looking at Juju Watkins, right? We'll be looking at some of these really big young up-and-comers, and what does that look like? And I say, we'll see. I mean, right? Time will tell. But certainly they're going to have to unseat some really incredible stars who are producing at an incredibly high level right now. All right. In case you missed it.
And we're going to smoke the rest of the world in this international competition.
You guys keep saying that, but you said the same thing about the men's side until they didn't.
All right. Well, okay. But
I'm just saying competition gets better internationally because of how good the women's team has been. Other teams get better. Other teams that play in the W and then go home and play for their respective teams. So yes, again, are they expected to win? Yes. But y'all always try to do this dance of like, oh, they're going to murder them. You did the same thing about the men. Well, and then when they didn't win gold, it was like an entire referendum on international.
Weird. Yes. Yeah, but I think that
everybody got better.
I think most people could say there's a larger valley. We've had the American basketball ecosystem has had a larger head start on the women's side than I think international.
100%, which is why they've won.
So they might catch up
since '96.
But it ain't gonna be this year.
We're gonna catch you up on the other side with some things that you missed this week.
Come on.
Welcome back to the Elle Duncan Show. Gary's like freaking out about something, and I'm gonna wait.
Okay.
He's like, if he's distracted the rest of the show, just know it's because he keeps staring at his phone and going, "Oh my God,
it's gonna happen!
Oh God,
boom! It just happened."
Okay, what? Stop.
I'm not gonna.
What?
We'll talk about it later. But it's literally never happened to me, and it was like a mini bucket list, personal type situation that I've always wanted to have happen. That's never happened. That's happened for you many times, so I think you might be able to relate. But let's get to the other stuff.
You finally had sex?
Yes, thanks. And we can confirm that you've had it twice, okay? Minimum. You have 2 kids, okay? I heard you have to practice. It makes perfect.
I'm proud of you, Gary. Big things are happening this week in Gary's personal life.
Thank you.
And also across the sports sphere. Taylor Swift's favorite favorite player, in case you missed it.
What's up, player?
Is Travis Kelce. And I love this quote when he was doing
loosey-goosey at the mic.
Yeah, well, that's Travis Kelce a little bit, right? I love that he's not changed at all. This is what he said when he was asked about just his, old age and just his wear and tear. And he says, quote, "Wear and tear me, baby. I'm ready for it, man. Put the load on me."
Now, are you sure he was answering a question about his old age playing football?
What do you say to Taylor every morning?
Oh my God.
She's like, she's going to find a way to incorporate a quote like that into a song. Or
yes,
something.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I like how
Putting
we are.
Putting a load on me, will you have on me, will you wear and tear me?
Oh my God. When did Taylor Swift go straight auto-tune? When did she straight up go T-Pain? I like how we're seeing, did you like that auto-tune?
Yeah, it was good.
I like how we're seeing in real time how it seems like even Travis Kelce, who is a star in his own right, an A-lister in the NFL world, and now we can say in the cultural space an A-lister because of, his rise, we are seeing in real time him getting a little bit more leash released, right? Saying something like this and talking about, Pop-Tarts and cinnamon rolls, she's good at cooking that, or we're good at cooking together. He ain't even giving us that much information this time last year, right? But now we're seeing a little bit more of that, the equity. that he's
Well,
getting
this time
in a
last year we
relationship.
didn't know that
well,
they
that's
were
true, but we're
dating.
talking about, okay, July, August, whenever that started happening, around training camp, right? We didn't know that. So everything was buttoned up, loose, no loose lips, those sink ships. But now he just loosey-goosey at the mic.
Well, he's comfortable. And
what I'm
he's
saying.
like, me and my boo, like, now that I know she wants to be out here in these streets, she's not as private as we all thought. I'm going to talk about my boo.
You
I
had to
love
get
it.
permission.
Talk about your boo. No, I'm sure it's one of those situations like be respectful.
True.
Like, don't say anything crazy.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't answer what's my favorite position. But like other than that, I think we're good.
Tight end,
Keep the brand.
so you know.
Keep the brand. The brand is wholesome. Not so wholesome. What happened to this baseball fan? There's a couple of things that were very revealing with this
Correct.
because we've definitely seen people, jump the fence at a baseball game. We're playing that right now. He's running around the field.
Great American
at the Reds
Ballpark
game.
in
He's like, whoa, he does a
Cincinnati.
backflip.
Oh, backflip, boom.
Woo! And here comes the cop and tased in the back. And he's on the ground and he's shaking. And the taser is still in his back. And looks like he's having a stroke.
Yeah.
or a
Oh, there's the
seizure.
picture.
Yeah. And I'm not going to lie to you.
Uh-huh.
For as long as I've been watching sports, I did not know this was a taseable offense. I don't think I've ever seen someone tased. Maybe if they were trying to attack a player, I could see, but this guy was clearly just in it for the yucks, and he got tased. And I think that the reason he got tased is because the security guard was an older gentleman and was like, I don't feel like chasing you, so I'm going to tase you instead.
Well, the kid, 20-year-old, confirmed, because we all saw his mugshot, 20-year-old, can't recall his name, but he did a backflip in the middle of center field, which is impressive. Okay, did a backflip, but he didn't know that the police officer was right behind him, so he caught, he grazed the police officer with the foot, so that probably didn't make the guy too happy. So he's like, all of a sudden now, assault on a police officer. This is a taseable offense because the kid, again, 20, got the wheels, was pulling distance, creating space. And the guy was like, well, I saw what they were able to do with Scotty Scheffler, so let me do this taser to this no-name kid. Blah! Straight to the back.
I'm so sorry. Can you guys put that picture back up of the guy being tased? I need you.
Doesn't feel good.
That's a 20-year-old?
20, yeah.
He's had a hard life.
It's ain't getting easier. You know what I'm saying? He just got tased.
A taser in the back is
It ain't-
definitely going to age
Have you ever
him.
been tased?
Is that a serious question?
Yeah.
No, Gary, I've never been tased.
Well, our producer, Dave, said that he's been tased on camera. It was all part of a bit. But in order to carry one of those things, my dad's a retired state trooper. They all had to get tased in order to carry it. Have you ever been pepper sprayed?
No.
I've been pepper sprayed straight to the face. I was at a party.
Why did you leave that girl alone, Gary?
So stupid. Okay, it's kind of fun. Well, it's not funny. We were at this girl's house. I was in high school, Elle. We were at this girl's house, and she was dating this guy who graduated a couple years prior, and he had a reputation. This guy, I'm not even going to say his name because I'm still scared of him. I live in a different state. They broke up. He started pounding on this girl's apartment door, and she opened it. Boom. He grabbed her. This was not a funny situation. He grabbed her and slammed her up against the wall. So all of the dudes that were at this party, we all got up to be like, oh, wait, this is getting suspect. So we all went to go charge this dude. And behind his back, he pulls out a crowd control sized freaking container of pepper spray and then just blasted the whole room. It was insane. And listen,
Like a fire extinguisher of pepper spray?
A straight up crowd control size thing of pepper spray. And I'm not going to say that I'm the hero, but I was one of the first dudes that were trying to charge this guy. I was running into my peril.
You're trying to run out.
I was running. Let me just slide by you real quick, Josh. Let me just slide by you.
I don't want any parts to do with this.
Just the whole room, hotboxed the room with pepper spray, closed the door and left. And Elle, I'm not kidding. That is so painful.
Oh, man.
Every fluid that your body has inside of you finds its way outside. It is insane. We were on our hands and knees for 30 minutes. Cop showed up. It was bad. It was bad. Hey, don't recommend. Do not recommend getting maced in the face.
Well, thank you for that heartwarming and light story.
I was trying to be the hero in this situation, but sometimes the hero turns into a zero, as in zero ability to see, zero ability to smell, because that stuff closes up every part of you. It ain't fun.
The worst part for Gary was he was in high school at the time. That means that he had to throw away his Nautica sweatshirt, probably.
How did you know? How did you know? My mom took us clothes shopping one time at the Castle Rock outlets, and your boy was dripped up in the U.S. Polo Association and the Nautica. What you know about Nautica?
Got that Nautica shout, I know one thing. I know that the timing of Tom Brady's retirement ceremony felt a little short-sighted because, like, another very popular Boston team was, like, in the middle of a finals run, and they just decide on a rando Wednesday in July or in June.
Makes sense.
Whatever. Let's have it.
6 Super Bowl titles, 12 being the jersey
Those people
number.
would have showed up any other time beyond the Celtics being in the finals and trying to hang banner number 18. It was a little odd to me, but it's fine. It happened.
Real quick, props, though, because they sold out Foxborough and they sold out TD Garden while neither team was actually there playing.
Sure.
Like Tom Brady's jersey retirement, cool, that was sold out. And then the Garden sold out for the first time ever
Without
having a watch party.
An actual just watch party.
Cool.
Listen, you can say what you want about Boston fans, and certainly I've said plenty. They love their teams. Like, no one is discounting that. There's probably not a more loyal fan base, even though sometimes they're cuckoo too. But Tom Brady gets his jersey retired. They're like, it was a surprise announcement. This is the least surprising thing of all time. That 12 was never going to be worn by anybody else, at least from here on out. But there was some fun moments. Randy Moss getting an emotional, crying a little bit, getting a standing O. Bill Belichick.
Deservedly so.
Getting a 2-minute standing ovation from the Patriots faithful.
That was impressive. Obviously, the Patriots were clipping and shooting things out as they were happening yesterday, and it was literally a freaking who's who of Patriots past and present that were there, part of it. Obviously, Bill Belichick was brought out to much applause, and it was literally like a 2-minute standing ovation. Brady was sitting down, Belichick was at the podium, and many times, if you watch it on the Patriots social, he was like, okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. You guys, thank you. And it was just non-freaking stop, which led me to pose the question, what could you do in your personal life, or what do you think that you do in your personal life, Elle, that would elicit a 2-minute standing ovation?
Ooh.
An everyday thing. Like, let me give you an example. Like how people who don't put their carts away think we should act when they finally do. Like, did you guys see what I did? I put my cart away, 2-minute standing ovation. Look at me. Look at me being a civil human. I mean, there's got to be stuff as a mother in your daily life.
Well, yeah. I mean,
wife.
I think I deserve a standing ovation. My kids are treat addicts.
Oh.
All they want is treats.
Yeah.
Treat is their way of basically saying, I want sugary candy.
Fruit snack, snacks,
anything. Cookies, cupcakes, donuts, whatever it is. It's a treat. And inevitably, when they only eat a little bit of that treat, every day, you guys, I walk by their plates, and I don't pick up that wing. I don't pick up that chicken finger. I don't pick up that half of a cheeseburger, because those are literally the only 3 things my kids eat. I don't pick up that donut. I just put it right in the trash. And I feel like that deserves a standing of, you know how hard that is?
You're not a human waste disposal. You're not a human garbage disposal. Sometimes, most of the times.
I am a hungry human, and so it means a lot that I'm able to just say, no thank you, donut.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
You respect and keep up with the macros, all right? And if you don't set guidelines for yourself, if you don't set bumpers for yourself, then what are you? You're in the gutter.
Fair.
Literally.
Yeah.
Okay, what does this
You have
deserve?
another one? Yeah.
What about this? How people who announce they're taking a break from social media expect us to react.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all, I just wanted to get on here real quick and just say, hey, I'm going to, it's just been a lot for me lately, and I'm going to just step away for a little bit. If y'all need me, you can reach me at. They expect us to be like, you are so brave.
You're brave.
Nah,
I love that.
How can you manage?
Yeah.
How do you do it?
Yeah.
How do you not look at Instagram and TikTok for hours?
You're a thought leader.
Stronger than me. Stronger than me.
Love you.
Got another
Pretty
one.
good.
I got one
Okay.
more. Maybe Omar.
Yeah.
And attest to this. How husbands think they should be treated when they put the toilet seat down.
Oh my God.
Is he a habitual? Because he FaceTimes you from the throne. Okay.
No, he doesn't FaceTime me from it. He will answer the phone despite being on the throne.
Gotcha. He always answers the call of being a husband, and you can't fault that.
That's not true. His phone's always on silent.
I got one more. When I get a water cup at Chipotle and actually use it for water.
That actually is very, because no one is policing that. It is a true, trust tree.
And sometimes they got those lemonades that are real exotic, like mandarin turmeric.
Yeah.
Or something like watermelon.
They just like try to make it sound healthy.
Watermelon guava.
Yeah.
And I'm like, let me just wet my whistle a little bit one time. But sometimes I'm like, no.
I don't think you want to stick that in the drink. I think you want to drink it.
Oh my God.
We were talking about something that a lot of times we
Damn it, Elle.
we have such differing opinions on most things, really, truly. But there is one thing that we just found out that has us both looking at each other going, did we just become best friends? And that is our unique love, adoration, adulation, some might say obsession, with the Hut. I'm talking about Pizza Hut. I saw your social media post when you said people say like the perfect American cuisine doesn't exist or whatever it was. And look at all this culture.
Look at this.
And I'm shocked. Where on God's earth were you that there is a Pizza Hut buffet?
Okay.
Those things are gone.
Elle, of the 18,000 brick and mortar Pizza Hut locations worldwide, and a lot of those aren't dine-in anymore, this Mecca.
Oh no, the breadsticks.
This freaking Mecca is located currently still, I was just there, in Tilton, New Hampshire. Wow. As you know, I split my time between here and there, and when I saw that the buffet is back, I told my parents, make no plans on Tuesday afternoon. Our plan, right there, 11 to 2. Our plans are going to the Hut and rolling things back to 2003, the last time I was in a Pizza Hut buffet. And look at this, Elle. Yeah. And yes, some things have changed. They don't have the 60 pounds of kale used as a garnish in the salad bar. Okay, they don't have the dessert pizza. Listen, times have changed a little bit. You do have to ask for the icing on the side. And no, there are no red cups with the pebble ice, but Elle, the spirit of the buffet is back. The smells are there. The checkerboard aprons are still there. And for $11, Elle, you can't put a price tag on nostalgia, but Pizza Hut in Tilton, New Hampshire did. And I got to say, I sure am happy about it.
I was never compelled to come see your house in New Hampshire, but maybe I am now. I do have one little note for you, though.
Talk to me. That was my third plate.
I was going to say, why did you go for the absolute skinniest slice of pizza that you could find?
Okay, what I will say also, too, is that it was my third plate, and I knew, oh, wait, I forgot to compile content before, and I didn't want to do like the slobby plate with all the ranch. That's gross.
Yeah.
Ranch visually is gross, but internally is delicious. Yeah. So I wanted to get something that fit the aesthetic, and I knew that this had an opportunity to go mega viral, so I didn't want people to think I'm a slob, which is a perfect segue into the top of this rejoin, which I freaked out about, Elle, because for the first time in my internet life, I have created a tweet that did a triple-double, which is triple digit comments, thousands of likes, and for the first time ever, over 1,000 retweets. I've gotten close.
Wow. Standing ovation.
But I've never gotten to that point.
Look at you, and all it took was you talk. If this doesn't lend us to a Pizza Hut endorsement, I don't really
look
know.
At how many retweets.
You have 870,000 watches on this.
That's insanity,
Good
Elle.
for you, boo.
That's like being Elle Duncan on social media for one day.
Yeah, it's good to know that there's a whole community of Pizza Hut lovers. We live in Connecticut, you guys, with the snobbiest pizza people of all earth. Like, you think it's Chicago people, it is Connecticut people.
But it's just.
It is. They've got great pizza, and that's fine. But they want me to drive 47 minutes to New Haven, wait in line for God knows how long so I can get a pizza or Sally's pizza. And it's no disrespect to any of those people, but get me a Pizza Hut. I have always been perfectly fine with my Pizza Hut pizza. I don't need a designer, thin crust, New York style, deep dish. Give me a pan, supreme pizza.
Buttery pan.
Thank you. With a side of the sauce, breadsticks, and a salad. That's all I need. Although I am going to say, as a grown-up, looking at that salad bar, a little bit it looked like bubble guts. But
all right, the salad was a little. Listen, you can't have it all.
It was a struggle salad.
You can't have it all.
It was a struggle salad, and that's fine. We are struggling to get out of our own way, but we are.
No,
on the other side
forever and ever about this.
Of this, we're going to talk about a little debate, and it is the opposite. I could do a pizza eating contest specifically with Pizza Hut pizza.
Yeah.
Wouldn't last long because their pizza's nice and thick.
And you don't like to eat in front of people?
I have not had a hot dog since I was 12 years old. On the other side, we will tell you the controversy, I swear to God, that's brewing in the hot dog world.
It's a master debate.
Remember, the Elle Duncan Show drops twice a week, Mondays and Thursdays, wherever you get your podcasts. You can see it on YouTube. You can see it on television, too. ESPN 2 every Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern. That's our promotion. The promotion for the 4th of July hot dog eating contest is going to get real interesting because Joey Chestnut, king of the dogs, king of the Glizzy King, cannot participate because of a conflict of interest with a brand that he is a part of, a vegan hot dog brand. So he can't. This is Nathan's, and he can't be a part of it because the guy is repping for some vegan dogs, right?
Okay, that's ridiculous because just before the break, we were talking about how America is back and we are healing, but now all of a sudden you are taking away.
Correct.
You are taking away a freaking 4th of July staple.
Correct.
Over some brand endorsement. He is the brand.
Well, here comes Netflix. They step in and they're like, don't worry, we got you.
Yes.
They announced just yesterday that they are going to have a special event on September 2nd. Not exactly 4th of July, but a couple months later, featuring Joey Chestnut and Takeru Kobayashi.
What?
Who, by the way, just retired because he said competitive eating is a horrible lifestyle, bad for your body, and he wants to be healthy, and it's gross.
He went full Brett Favre. I'm coming back. He went full time. I'm coming back. I see an opportunity for a championship and probably a fat payday because
that was the millions
because it's Netflix.
Correct.
And I'm coming back. I only got to beat one guy.
Yeah.
I only got to go 1v1.
Please.
It's probably going to be inside an air-conditioned area and not on the freaking boardwalk in the middle of the heat, New Jersey heat.
Say less.
Yeah, sign me up, dude. Kobayashi's gone Hollywood, baby.
Do we think that this is where Aaron Rodgers is with his unexcused absence? Do we think that he is maybe competitively eating or preparing to make some appearance on this big Netflix special? Because he sure as hell ain't preparing for their season opener against the Niners, deciding that he would skip mandatory camp this week, despite at the end of last season saying, all the that ain't football's gotta go.
Correct.
If it ain't football, it's out of here.
Boom.
If it's not about winning games, we ain't doing it. And his first opportunity to have to be there on a mandatory way, he's not there. All the team is saying is that he felt like this was a very important event that he had to be at, and he felt like it was more important than being at mandatory minis. They also note Aaron has been at all the voluntary stuff. He has been there all off season, so they're not worried. There's no rift and blah, 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 and all of that.
Because what else are you going to say about your freaking franchise
Correct.
quarterback that you got to pay $50 million for, who's on the last year of his contract, and it's win or go home this year for the way the Jets have had to build their team? What else are you going to say?
Yeah.
We're upset?
Yeah, this is devastating. So where do we think that Aaron Rodgers is? Wrong answers only.
I'm going to tell you right now, I wouldn't be surprised if Aaron Rodgers is in Tilton, New Hampshire right now at the Pizza Hut buffet, because he is of the same age as us, where if you read a couple books in the summertime, you get yourself a free personal pan pizza. And my guy wants to go back to the glory days, and I wouldn't be surprised if he was taking a trip down memory lane.
You think he'd have to miss the whole entire week in order to do that? Or
I mean, it is a bit of a trek, all right? New Hampshire's a bit of a trek, Elle, and you said wrong answers only.
Fair.
So this is maybe halfway wrong.
Fair.
You think he's at a fair?
Yeah, no.
Which kind of fair? Because it is summertime, so it is fair season.
Like, where is Aaron Rodgers? I mean, undoubtedly it involves, I haven't Googled it, but I bet you if you Google that there's some
hallucinogenics?
Yeah, there's some ayahuasca festival, or, I don't know. Have you ever seen that? Have you ever seen that movie Midsummer? For those of you watching or listening that have seen Midsummer, doesn't it kind of seem like Aaron Rodgers would go to something like that? Well, let's just put it this way. It involves a cult in the middle of Sweden, lots of sex and flowers and drugs, and it just seems really on brand for him. So
well, that's kind of funny because Elle is on her way to Europe, so it's funny that you made that segue, Elle.
That's exact. Aaron Rodgers is heading to France to meet me, and I'll tell you why on the other side. Welcome back to the Elle Duncan Show. You will not see me on the show on Monday. I have no idea who you're doing the show with, but knowing you like to do it alone, so I'm sure.
Yo, you've been on one all hour.
You know how to please the people by doing it all yourself.
Hey, come on.
And that is because I am headed off to, I was going to say Old Paris, but I'm not going to Paris. I'm going to a place that when you say it the correct way, people look at you crazy, and when you say it the wrong way, people are like, "Oh yeah, cans." I'm going to Cannes, France, because it is a Cannes Lions, which is like a really big meeting of all of these creatives and businesses and whatnot. And I'm going to go represent the company and do some work out there for a few days. So
Damn.
it's going to be me, French. I'm going to come back. I'm going to be super snooty to you.
Yes.
Probably pick up a cigarette habit.
Okay.
And drink wine all day.
Okay, so what are you going to do that's any different than what you do now? Okay, I'm just kind of
Sounds like me.
Have you ever been to Francais?
I've never been to France.
Yeah, let me teach you just real quick how to count to 5.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4,
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
10.
So you can count to 10. Okay?
You just counted to 9.
If somebody asks you how you are, comme ci, comme ça.
Okay.
Comme ci, comme ça.
The only French I know is the intro to a Janet Jackson song called Funny How Time Flies. Listen to how French I sound.
Yeah.
Il me plaît d'être là avec tout. Je ne sais pas où le temps s'enfuit. Où je t'aime, mon chéri. I have no idea what I just said, and I
don't
hope
know
that it was safe for work. I think it was dirty.
I'm gonna buy that perfume though, because that sounds like a perfume commercial. Like, I'm gonna buy it. You don't gotta convince me. Un chocolat, un croissant, un chocolat.
You somehow make French sound horrible, guttural, and bad. I love you though, Gary. I'm gonna bring you back some cheese, and I will see you next week.
Save the cheese.
You've already got it in droves. Shots fired.
Ah, damn it.
See y'all next week.